dare to venture down Bizarre Boulevard, a realm of mysterious creatures and strange occurrences that defies the boundaries of reality. No matter which path you choose, remember that all roads eventually lead to this chilling and enigmatic destination.
In this episode of Bizarre Boulevard, we investigate another bizarre murder case that happened in Montgomery Village, Maryland. In an absolutely shocking and heartbreaking incident, a disabled child has been allegedly murdered by their own parents. The case has garnered national attention as the tragic story unfolds, revealing the disturbing details of mental illness and dark religious practices within the family. This video will provide an in-depth exploration of the case, shedding light on the harrowing circumstances that led to this tragedy. The victim, a 10-year-old disabled child, was found dead in their family home. Autopsy reports indicated that the child had been subjected to severe physical abuse and had been starved for a prolonged period. The child's parents, Dominique and Cynthia Moore, have been arrested and charged with first-degree murder, child abuse, and neglect. Both Dominique and Cynthia Moore had a history of mental illness, including depression, anxiety, and bipolar disorder. While they sought treatment for their conditions, it is believed that their mental health issues contributed to the abusive environment in which the child lived. The couple's lack of stable employment and financial difficulties further exacerbated their struggles with mental illness. As the investigation deepened, it was discovered that the parents were involved in dark religious practices and occult rituals. Family members and friends revealed that the couple often spoke of communicating with spirits, and their home was filled with occult paraphernalia, including altars and ritualistic symbols. They were said to sleep in coffins. Cults that involve sleeping in a coffin are a rare but disturbing phenomenon. The practice of sleeping in a coffin is often linked to a cult's beliefs in death and rebirth, or the idea of transcending the physical world. One well-known example of a cult that used coffins as part of its rituals is the Order of the Solar Temple. This group, which was active in Europe and North America in the 1980s and 1990s, believed in a combination of Christian and New Age spirituality. Members of the group were encouraged to prepare for an apocalyptic event by engaging in practices such as sleeping in coffins and participating in mock funerals. Another cult that used coffins in its rituals was the People's Temple, led by Jim Jones. While the group did not specifically encourage members to sleep in coffins, Jones was known for his fascination with death and the afterlife. He famously convinced more than 900 of his followers to commit mass suicide by drinking poison punch in 1978. It's important to note that sleeping in a coffin is not a common or accepted practice in any mainstream religious or spiritual tradition. The use of coffins in cults is often a sign of extreme and dangerous beliefs and should be avoided. The victim's grandmother provided a heart-wrenching testimony stating that the parents' mental illness and obsession with dark religion led to the abuse and eventual murder of their disabled child. She described how she had tried to intervene and get help for the family, but her efforts were met with resistance and denial from the parents. Child Protective Services, CPS, had been involved with the family on several occasions, with multiple reports of suspected abuse and neglect. Despite their involvement, the child remained in the care of their parents, raising questions about the effectiveness of the child welfare system and the need for more stringent intervention measures. The community has been left in shock and disbelief by the horrific crime. Residents have come together to mourn the loss of the innocent child and demand justice for their tragic death. The case has also prompted discussions about the need for greater awareness and resources for mental health and the dangers of dark religious practices. In conclusion, the tragic murder of a disabled child by their own parents is a horrifying reminder of the impact that mental illness and dark religious practices can have on families. As the investigation continues and the trial unfolds, it is crucial that lessons are learned from this heartbreaking case. This includes improving mental health support for struggling families, strengthening child welfare systems, and raising awareness about the dangers of dark religious practices. By addressing these issues, it is hoped that similar tragedies can be prevented in the future, ensuring the safety and well-being of children everywhere.